So, there was this crazy cyber heist back in February 2016 at Bangladesh Bank. Basically, some hackers got into their system and tried to swipe nearly $1 billion from their account at the Federal Reserve Bank of New York. They sent out like 35 dodgy transfer requests via the SWIFT network, aiming to shuffle the money off to accounts in the Philippines and Sri Lanka. Now here's where it gets wild. They actually managed to pull off 5 of those transfers, bagging a cool $101 million. But wait, there's a plot twist. One of the instructions had a typo, which raised some red flags and stopped another $850 million from disappearing. In the end, only about $18 million of the Philippines' loot was recovered, and Sri Lanka got its cash back. But hey, most of the dough that ended up in the Philippines went straight into personal accounts, not some big company's stash. Turns out this wasn't the first rodeo for hackers targeting banks in Bangladesh. There was a smaller hit on Sonali Bank in 2013 which nabbed $250,000. Investigations pointed fingers at possible inside jobs, meaning some bank folks might have been in on it. And get this, there's speculation that North Korea might have had a hand in it too. The FBI was all over it, suspecting links to North Korean cyber gangs and even charging a North Korean programmer in connection with the hack. The fallout was massive. Bank officials got the boot, fines were dished out, and legal battles raged on. Plus, the whole thing put a spotlight on cybersecurity and how vulnerable banks can be to these high-tech heists. SWIFT had to step up its security game and Bangladesh was left scrambling to beef up its cyber defenses. It's like something out of a cyberpunk thriller, but sadly, it was all too real. But it didn't stop there. The detectives found out that these hackers might have done this before to another bank in Bangladesh. And guess what? They thought these hackers might be working with a country far away called North Korea. It's like a mystery story, right? The people in charge of the banks were very upset and tried to fix everything. Some of them even had to leave their jobs because of what happened. But they learned from it and tried to make sure it wouldn't happen again. So the good news is, even though these hackers tried to steal a lot of money, they didn't get away with all of it. And now, banks are being even more careful to keep our money safe from bad guys like them. The world watched, stunned, as news broke of a brazen cyber heist. It was a moment that captured the attention of millions, leaving everyone in disbelief. The target was none other than the Bangladesh Bank, the central bank of one of the world's most populous nations. A symbol of financial stability, now at the center of a digital storm. The amount stolen was a staggering $81 million, which vanished into the digital ether without a trace. It was as if the money had been swallowed by a black hole. This was no ordinary bank robbery, it was a meticulously planned cyber heist, executed with a level of sophistication that left experts baffled. This was a sophisticated cyber attack, executed with precision and daring, shaking the very foundations of the global financial system. The implications were far-reaching, sending shockwaves through financial institutions worldwide. The perpetrators? Shadows in the digital world, their identities shrouded in mystery. They operated from the dark corners of the internet, leaving no clues behind. They had infiltrated the bank's systems, exploiting vulnerabilities with surgical precision. Their expertise was unparalleled, and their focus unwavering. Their target was the SWIFT network, the backbone of international money transfers, a system trusted by banks worldwide, now compromised. Their weapon was not guns or explosives but code, cunning, and the audacity to attempt the impossible. They had rewritten the rules of bank robbery, proving that in the digital age the pen, or rather the keyboard, is mightier than the sword. SWIFT. The acronym itself evokes images of speed and efficiency, the Society for Worldwide Interbank Financial Telecommunication, a messaging system connecting over 11,000 financial institutions across the globe. Trillions of dollars changing hands every day, seamlessly, securely, or so it seemed. Within SWIFT's digital arteries flowed the lifeblood of global commerce. Banks, corporations, governments, all reliant on its secure channels for international transactions. A system built on trust, on the assumption of impenetrable security. But every system has its weaknesses. The hackers knew this. They had been watching, waiting, probing for the cracks. Months in the making. The hackers, believed to be a highly organized cybercrime syndicate, meticulously crafted their plan. Their target Bangladesh Bank's account at the Federal Reserve Bank of New York. Their strategy: gain access to the bank's SWIFT credentials, then craft fraudulent transfer requests. They infiltrated Bangladesh Bank systems, planting malware, creating backdoors. They studied the bank's routines, its security protocols. They waited for the opportune moment. Their patience would be rewarded. On the eve of a long weekend when vigilance was low, they would make their move. A Thursday. Business as usual at Bangladesh Bank. Unbeknownst to the bank's employees, a storm was brewing in the digital world. The hackers, now in control, initiated their attack. Using the stolen SWIFT credentials, they began sending fraudulent transfer requests to the Federal Reserve Bank of New York. Millions of dollars began to move. Accounts in the Philippines, Sri Lanka, the money trail designed to be convoluted was disappearing into a labyrinth of shell companies and casinos. The hackers had anticipated almost everything. Almost. The hackers had covered their tracks well, but a simple typo would prove to be their undoing. A misspelling in one of the transfer requests raised red flags at the Federal Reserve Bank of New York, halting the majority of the fraudulent transactions. But it was too late. $81 million had already vanished. Panic ensued at Bangladesh Bank. The scale of the breach, the audacity of the attack, sent shockwaves through the institution. Frantic calls were made, investigations launched. The world watched as the details of the heist unraveled, a stark reminder of the vulnerability of even the most secure systems. The chase was on. International law enforcement agencies, cybersecurity experts, and financial institutions joined forces to track the stolen funds. The trail led them across continents, through a tangled web of shell corporations, online casinos, and money laundering operations. Bits and pieces of the stolen money were recovered, but the majority remained elusive. Arrests were made, but the masterminds behind the heist remained at large, ghosts in the digital machine. The Bangladesh Bank heist became a cautionary tale, a stark reminder of the challenges of combating cybercrime in an interconnected world. Lessons learned, a cybersecurity wake-up call. The Bangladesh Bank heist sent shockwaves through the global financial system. It exposed critical vulnerabilities in the SWIFT network and highlighted the growing sophistication of cybercriminals. In the aftermath, banks and financial institutions around the world scrambled to strengthen their cybersecurity protocols. The SWIFT network underwent significant security enhancements, with a focus on multi-factor authentication and improved monitoring systems. Governments and regulatory bodies stepped up their efforts to combat cybercrime, recognizing the critical threat it posed to the global financial system. The heist served as a wake-up call, a catalyst for change in the world of cybersecurity. The Bangladesh Bank heist was a watershed moment, but it was not an isolated incident. This high-profile case highlighted the vulnerabilities in our financial systems and served as a wake-up call for institutions worldwide. Cybercrime continues to evolve at an alarming rate, with criminals becoming more sophisticated and brazen in their attacks. Ransomware attacks, data breaches, and financial fraud are now commonplace, targeting individuals, businesses, and governments alike. These cybercriminals are constantly finding new ways to infiltrate systems and steal sensitive information. The impact of these crimes is far-reaching, causing not only financial loss but also eroding trust in digital systems. As we become more reliant on technology, the stakes continue to rise. The battle against cybercrime is a constant game of cat and mouse.